Well, hello, Angela. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
Hey, Todd, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have to talk about this, but we're actually doing this. You're on your phone on your side, which is actually pretty cool. But Angela, we have known each other for a while. We comment on each other's Facebook pages a lot, and sometimes Facebook Messenger. But for those that don't know all the things that you do and why we're talking today, so tell everybody about yourself and the role that you have.
My name's Angela Lancaster. I've lived in Coppell 23 years, and 15 of those years I have been involved with Coppell Youth Soccer Association. Currently the president. I have been president since 2010. Have been on the board since 2004, and it's pretty much a full-time volunteer position. I love it. That's how I feel to serve the community, and it's my passion, and I love every second of it.
Well, you're sporting the soccer shirt and you're representing quite well, aren't you? Um, well, I appreciate you jumping on. So obviously, you're sheltering at home, and it looks like you're out back. At least what it looks like. So, other than the obvious things that possibly have changed because of this whole pandemic, how has the soccer association been impacted? Tell us about that.
Well, this whole thing pretty much hit about 2 weeks into our spring season. We had barely gotten started when the social distancing mandates went into place. We pretty much told our families that we were going to follow the ISD's protocol. So whatever the ISD was going to do is what we were going to do. Our governing body, North Texas Soccer, pretty much left it up to each association to make that decision. There was nothing saying that we couldn't play soccer, but we thought it was in the best interest to not play soccer at this time, considering the close proximity that the families and kids would have to each other on the field. So we are just watching what the ISD does, and we are following suit. And I believe almost all the sports associations in the city are doing the same thing. It has put quite a damper on our season. We only have usually all of March, all of April, and maybe a week or two into May that we could use according to our city restrictions. So they've actually been really easy to work with in the past. And I figure if the restrictions get lifted, we probably could get a portion of our season in come May. But right now we're shut down altogether.
How has communication been? I suspect that, with as many parents and as many kids as this affects, I mean, are you relying on email? Like how are you communicating with all the parents and folks?
Yeah, our email system is what we go to for almost everything, and then we follow up with Facebook posts. We are also on Instagram and Twitter, but Facebook and email are our primary communication tools.
There's a great kid that lives a couple of blocks over that is just a soccer fanatic, and I before we went to shelter in place, I saw him at George, the coffee shop, and he was just so bummed because his soccer game had got canceled. So I imagine there's quite a few kids out there that are pretty bummed to not be able to play soccer.
Yeah, we're just as bummed as they are, but yeah, they're really bummed. So what I found is interesting with this is it's kind of forced us to come up with an alternative way to keep the kids engaged. We've found an app called Tapia that we're about to launch, and our kids can compete with each other virtually. There's going to be leaderboards, and they can practice and develop their skills, and also compete with each other via this app. And we're launching it today, Friday, for our families to use. So we hope that'll be kind of something to keep them engaged and keep them moving until we can get back out of the fields.
Wow, that's really cool. Was this something that you were thinking about doing before this happened, or not? How'd you come up with that?
Yeah, it had been brought to my attention by our partner, Challenger Sports. They're involved with Tapia, and it had brought to my attention about a year ago. And I thought, we'll kind of hold off and see. At the time, it just wasn't something that we just felt like we needed to do. And since this happened, it was brought back to my attention. I thought, yeah, this is perfect. It's forcing us to innovate, right? It's forcing us to think new ways to do things. And I know the kids right now, being out of school, still need to get their 30 minutes of PE in, according to their, to their schools. And this is a great way to do that also. So we can help them stay active and keep soccer at the forefront.
Wow, that is really cool. So is that a proprietary app, or could other people use it for different things that they have?
Primarily soccer. I think it's only soccer. It is being used by other clubs around the country. I don't know by how many, but I have heard that it is being used. I don't know how many rec associations have used it, so we might be kind of a trailblazer there. But I know other clubs and select teams are using it.
Awesome. Have you? That's a really cool innovation, right? Scarcity leads to a lot of innovative thinking. So that's really interesting. It'll be very interesting to see how that works. What is are there some positives at all that you've seen from this, or is it just is there some good things that have come out of this? Or is it too early to tell? Like, what's your feeling on these big changes?
It's hard. I mean, I think, of course, there's good things that have come out of it, maybe not related to soccer, but it's not been great for what we do, just because you have to be in person for the most part to do what we do. So it hasn't been great, but like I said, with the Tapia app, it's kind of forced us to look elsewhere, and maybe that's something that we can keep using even after we get back on the fields, and the kids can keep developing their skills outside of the structured game. So I guess that's one good thing that's come out of this, that was forced us to kind of look elsewhere to keep them moving.
So for those that want to, that haven't joined, aren't a part of soccer, but would be interested, where's the best way to reach you guys? Is it the Facebook site? Tell people where they need to go to find you and the association.
Yeah, they can find us at CoppellYouthSoccer.com. Or on our Facebook page or Instagram pages under Coppell Youth Soccer. Our office is open pretty much business hours, Monday through Friday. And we're located in Old Town, right behind, right in front of, or at the back of Createria Studios, which is kind of right in front of Twisted Root, right off Bethel Road. So they can also go there in person and register there. And right now, we're getting closer, obviously, to registration for our fall season. So that's coming up soon. Obviously, the spring, we don't know what's going to happen there, but the fall season, they're welcome to go ahead and start registering that coming up in April.
What's the ages of kids that your association works with?
Ages 4 to 19.
4 to 19. That's a widespread for sure. Well, Angela, real quick, I mean, because you're the first person that I believe that I've done one of these where you're on the phone versus a computer. How's that working out? Was it easy for you to figure out? A lot of folks are learning this technology.
Yeah, no, it's super easy. Yeah, download the Zoom app and pulled it up, and there was your face. So yeah, it worked out great. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for all that you do in the community and the impact with all the parents and the kids. And I know that when people can start playing again, they'll be very glad to get outside and do that for sure. So wish you the best of luck as we go forward. And I just really appreciate all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. You have an awesome day. We'll talk soon.
All right. See ya.